Welcome everyone to the Believe in Yourself Heart and Mind podcast, where I bring on special guests who are working on themselves and are journeying through their own experiences with you. And one of our special guests is actually an entrepreneur. He is from a different part of the world that you may or may not have heard of, actually. And I would love for you to get a chance to know this individual. And what's really interesting about this individual is that he's coming from a really humble background of starting off with just thinking about design and changing the world and empowering others from his work, and beginning this journey as an entrepreneur and teaching and coaching others. There's so much that he has to offer, and I would love for you to welcome Mbah, Romi. And Mbah, if you could actually share with us more about who you are, and also tell us, why are you considering empowering others through design and entrepreneurship?
Yes, like you said, I'm so happy to be here, and this is a very great day for me, especially this year, 2023. Yes, I'm Romi from Cameroon, an African country. Yes, I've been an entrepreneur for 7 years now in the field of ideation, creativity, designing, and problem solving in the business world and career-wide. Yeah, so bringing myself into this career to be a graphic designer, be a business strategies and brand strategies, is because I see that there are problems in the community, especially here in Africa, because when we talk of branding, when we talk of design, Africa is way back. And for the fact that I pushed myself to take training, like online training beyond what we are being taught here, it kept me ahead of the curve. And I think that I need to learn more, I need to get more, I need to really do more so that I can solve problems in the careers, educational careers for students in this line, looking up to come into this line, and business problems based in communication, design, and strategies. Yeah, that is what I see in this career, and I think that I'm a perfect solution if I have to work in collaboration with my team and other ideas brought together.
Your story is so powerful because like you were saying, it with certain parts of the world, there may be fewer resources, but it hasn't held you back. It actually made you want to do more and to become more. So where did this hunger, this drive come from? Could you help us bring back to a time in your life where you just decided that this was what you're going to do and you're just going to go hard on your dreams and goals? How did that happen?
Yeah, that comes to the why, because every time somebody wants to do something, it's not about what they are doing, it's why they are doing that thing. That's a very powerful point, like why I got myself into this. First of all, I had to drop out of school back in 2016. Yes, because we had a crisis. Like most part of the world, they don't know about the crisis we had here in Cameroon. There was a little bit of war, like killing. So we had to stop school. I went back home in the English department because I was an English speaking, and the war was between the French and the English. So I had to go back home and wait for the war to come down. But while home, there was this burning desire to keep on doing something, to adapt to something. So I started photography. Since I was in love with photography, I started, and in a small range, I didn't know anything about photography. I was just there doing my thing, learning. I had failure. I had to fail really bad, having bad pictures, and almost wanted to give up. But my mom told me not to ever give up because she has done many businesses as we are growing up. And for what she is saying, I can see the reality ahead of me, because she has done a lot and failed and tried. So I didn't give up because of her. I kept on going, and with time, I began to study graphic designing to put into photography. When I was into graphic designing, I began to see that there are other opportunities, like you can be a brand specialist, you can be a marketing strategist, you can be a social media communication specialist for businesses to solve problems. I was like, this is it. I began to study online, and the strike started again. After when I have studied for a year and I've won the market of photography in that my area, I was the first in the list when you want to talk about photography. My shop, my company was already stable. The war started again. So they burnt down everything, including my office. The whole area was burnt down. That was the moment where I had to give up because we had cocoa plantation. Everybody had to run and go to the bush to do cocoa plantation. I said, no, I would rather go to the French speaking zone, even without knowing the language. I will go there and try to force it so that I will be able to be connected to the internet to continue my career. So I moved to the French part of Cameroon, which is Douala. I continued there. It was so hard. It was so hard that I would stay for 2 weeks without money on me, nothing to eat. I'll have insults from neighbors and other people, but I was struggling. I never gave up. I continued working and working. And I was teaching computer studies because I learned computer studies back in school, trying to get students. By time to time, I began to grow. So what really got me into this is because we lost our home, and my love for design all put together, and I want to be that seed in the family that is going to make a change.
Yeah, so let me just make sure I understand a little bit. So you said that you were maybe in high school possibly, but then you had to drop out because there was a war, and then eventually you resumed your studies online, and that's how you got your degree to pursue design and problem solving, and then you start opening up your own company. If you can just make sure I got all the details correctly.
Yeah, I dropped out of school when I just left high school and went to the university. The first year when I was to follow up with my national diploma, the strike started. So I left there without even a degree. The training I have gotten online, all the training is training myself, paying for online classes, all that. I am still to defend that. I'm still to certify my studies, but yet I have all the skills put in place, and I've been working with companies as a freelancer, working with businesses, and succeeding as an entrepreneur.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. That's awesome. So I've heard so much that you had to go through. You went through hunger, you went through war, you went through political strife, and also there was a moment where you brought up your mom, and that was, I think, very vital because you had a specific support system and certain value that reminded you of who you are, that you're not someone who is going to give up just because all of these events are happening, and things that you can't really control, right? Things that kind of pushes you to, or forces you to do things that you wouldn't dream of doing, especially if you had an environment that was a lot more stable, but you didn't have that, and yet because of that reminder, don't give up, you said you did it for her. I thought that was really powerful, really powerful. And so where are you today with the idea of not giving up? What have you done since then?
Okay, I like that question. Yeah. When to continue from where I ended, I got to establish my brand in the French area. I was a little good in French, and I began to cope. And I had a brand that was so heavy, with quality services because I was more strict with quality services for businesses, like not being of hunger to make money fast, but more focused on the little quality steps that I have to make because of how big the dream is, and building a foundation that is going to be trusted while pursuing perfection. That is the zeal that we had. So after struggling and building it for 6 years, for the 6th year, I begin to have investors coming in. The brand was attracting investors coming in, and since we had difficulties with the machines for printing, we needed a studio, and we have been working on renting of equipments, and we are so good, and investors started coming to invest. At the cost of that, 2022, I was robbed. And that involved business money from clients. I was robbed, and it cost my company. I lost everything to the list. I almost went to prison, but just because of transparency, proof of record of transactions, and my reputation I've built for the past 6 years, that is what helped me. And that is what I always tell young entrepreneurs: always be truthful, work with people in good faith, and if anything comes up, like maybe a mistake that you did or anything, or maybe somebody wants to put you down, even in the court of law, God is going to be there with you to help you overcome all that. And I can only say that it is God that helped me, that I am not in prison. I prefer to lose everything than I'm free with all my skills and my desires to keep going, because I am always prepared, environmentally aware that anything can happen, and I am ready to take the available step anytime. So when that happened, I had to leave the country to another part of Africa. Since I could not use my company again, nothing, I started a new brand. And this new brand now is reaching out to every part of the world, because I'm able to talk to you now. I'm able to talk to other people in Saudi Arabia. I'm able to talk back to some people back home who are ready to put their energy into this vision, because it is bigger than what I lost. So at this level, it is really attracting ideas, people with new ideas to come in, people who want to explore and share the idea. And I'm beginning to be more energized, more than before. And we have challenges like investing into the brand, or maybe me changing my location, but that is not a barrier, because I am able to reach anywhere. And I think that quality steps, one thing at a time, is going to take me to that destination.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
Your story, because I think not everyone would say, "Oh, I'm just gonna start a new brand just after all of that," you know. And I think, just to clarify, is I think you mentioned to me that this robbery that you were facing was actually like a personal, like someone you knew, right? And that,
Yeah.
I'm sure that was very difficult to experience, knowing that this is someone you might have trust, but then that person kind of betrayed you, right? And especially if you're already in a very difficult situation, they're in a difficult situation, how do you even try to work through all those feelings, right? And then still find the courage to get up, move to a whole different country, restart yourself, and still be in good spirits. And the interesting thing that I heard also was the fact that you worked hard for 6 years, not seeing the rewards of your work. But then even after that challenge of losing so much, losing everything, and then having to restart again, you then saw the reward of it, the hard work, and then the exposure to different parts of the world. Why do you think that was? that you're able to see additional growth, even though you lost so much?
Okay. First of all, I want to start with what made me to start again without being broken down. Yeah. There is one thing I always say, I always tell people, if you are able to train your mind to be able to sustain, to absorb the betrayal from your loved ones, then you have won. If you're able to train your mind and your heart to be able to take anything that comes as a betrayal from your best friend, from your employee, from your partners, or anybody, family member, then you have won, because when they do it, you are going to be more bigger because you achieve that strength you prepare to achieve. When you absorb, it's like you're absorbing positive energy instead of negative. When they punch you like a boxer, when they punch you, it means wake up, you're sleeping. So it is like deliverance. You get deliverance from the hands of the wicked ones. So I was delivered. That is how I see it. Yes, but the betrayer thought they broke me down and they have frustrated me. Even when they are not able to see me now, they know I'm somewhere dead or maybe in prison. Yes, but I am bigger. I think more, something different. I can see what I lost down and tiny. So I can just say that you can pray to God to answer your prayer. He will tell you to wait. Let me do this for you. And you have this other thing. Yeah. So I got back and I decided to restructure my system, because it is the system, not just the goal. It is the system. Yes, the system is the plan. If the plan doesn't work, you change it, not the goal. The goal remains. Yes, the goal can be more bigger. Yes, depending on how the plan comes. So I decided to change the plan, and I'm seeing the goal more bigger than before. So I am grateful for the fact that I was duped. I'm grateful for the fact that I failed, and I'm grateful for the fact that I was able to learn a lesson from that. And I'm also grateful that I am able to take the next step without hesitation. Yes.
That's incredible. That you learned so much. You realized that you were a bigger person already and allowed yourself to be that person. So the bigger person knew how to think outside of just feeling angry or frustrated and resentful. And you gave yourself additional opportunities. And I love what you said before too, with the fact that if you're honest and truthful, could you help maybe me and like others to understand what are some specific values that either you grew up with or you developed over time throughout, let's say, those 6 years that help you to be so clear on who you are and how you want to respond to others and to live your life consistently?
Okay. I would like to say that if you have to be successful in whatever domain, it must not be my specialty. In whatsoever you want to do, number one, you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional about what you want to do and why you are doing this. It is the why that will keep you going, because if you don't have any reason for doing it, a deeper reason, or maybe you're just following the crowd, or maybe just because your friend is into it, or maybe your parents said you should do it, or just give yourself a why, just one, not many reasons, one reason, and you will see yourself going no matter who comes and who goes. And because I gave myself why I was doing this, I lost friends. I lost friends. I lost almost everybody in my life. Some left and they came back when they saw that it was moving. They left when it was difficult. They came back when they saw that it was moving. And there was a point in time when I almost lost my family too, because there are times when when you're starting a dream, when it's too big, sometimes it is impossible and invisible. Yes, but just because I believe that what God shows me, even my mother that put to bed, that gave birth to me, cannot see it until it is visible. So blaming them for not believing in me at a certain point in time would be very wrong. And failing because somebody left you, it is very wrong. Or blaming people for leaving you, and that is why you failed in life, or maybe they did not give you an opportunity, or a particular boss did not reply your call, that is a reckless excuse. So my why kept me going, even when my loved ones were not believing. So they got to believe when I proved them wrong. Yes. So being intentional and knowing your why is very important. And secondly, you have to be transparent, because even if you fool the whole world, you cannot fool yourself. If you fool the whole world, like fooling the whole world, trying to be who you are not, you have to be yourself. That's how you have to be yourself, be transparent. When you're yourself, God is going to connect you to the right people. You're going to meet the right people that will click the dots to your destination. Yes. Focus on the progress of little steps. That's quality. The progress of little steps, not running too fast. Because if I was running too fast, the horrible industry, the negative industry would have eaten me up. Yes, and investors that were not supposed to invest in my company would have invested, and I would have been in a bad hand. You can understand what I mean. It's spiritual. So focusing on the progress, trusting in God, and doing what you are supposed to do to make it happen. Yes, it's going to take you to that destination.
You mentioned so many powerful ideas and values and thoughts, and I just want to thank you for that, because I think a lot of us, especially in today's time, get so easily confused by so many people telling us who we are, or what we should be doing with our time. And I think what's really great about what you're sharing is you're showing us that no matter what others may think, at the end of the day, you can't fool yourself, as you were saying. And that's so important to note, because there's these talks of like, just try to be outgoing and blah blah, and you can be this person. I think it works to some extent, right, where you're constantly re-identifying with what you want to do and who you want to be, and I think that's okay, and you're working on yourself. But I think what you're also kind of showing us is that there's a certain true core part of us that's always going to reflect our why, like you were saying, and how much we want more of that part in our life. So for example, I guess what I'm saying too here is like the idea of like love, right, for me is really important. And it's like yes, there's like godly love, there's like affection, with your partner, or love with your mother or father, your children, things like that. But the idea is that like love is just so key, even self-love. And if we are constantly trying to be someone else, and there's almost that part where we're talking to ourselves like and criticizing ourselves, because it's almost like outside of love, right? So the more we're in love with ourselves, with life, the more we attract more of those things as well. So I kind of identify more of in that way. And I think to your point that there is a true nature of who we are that we need to kind of cultivate and add more to our life, so that I think we become stronger as a person, so that we can then share that part of ourselves with others. But if you don't know who you are, it's so hard to say, follow me, believe in what I say, when you don't even believe in it yourself, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was also wondering too about the idea of now the fact that you're constantly working with young people. You have this vision. I think you're still young yourself, right? And you're leading people, you're mentoring others, whether older or younger, and you're telling people
Yeah.
like, there's this big vision I have and I can show you, and all you have to do is learn certain skills, and I'm here to coach you. I'm going to be patient with you. And I think that's so amazing. How are you developing space for that, even though you're trying to work on yourself? What's allowing you to do that?
Yeah. Because I want to create my vision is to create a platform where like minds can come together, like creative ideas, because I want to focus on problems. I want to focus on problems, like solving problems. Number one, problems that are visible, like people know that they have these problems, career-wise, business-wise, we solve them. We can look into them and tell them the problems they have that are not visible to them or to anyone. Yes, so when I'm trying to connect to people around the world to put this together so that we can always come together to have a solution to somebody's career. Maybe you're studying this, and what do you have to do, especially here in Africa where people are lost with the educational system, and what do you have to do, or what are you supposed to be doing while you are a student? Yes, so that you can secure a job, or maybe you start your entrepreneurial journey while you're still in school. And then people that want to start a business, you don't have an idea on how to begin. You've started, you have problems with the business, we have to look into it to see how we can solve. So bringing these ideas together, we have to be part of this journey. Secondly, we want to be able to help people, to educate them on how to empower their skills, like their positions. Like we have a program now for doctors. We train them on negotiation skills, how to negotiate with your patient in the hospital. Maybe you're in the hospital, you have a patient that wants to go home before time. Just the knowledge of having the knowledge of a doctor is not enough. You're supposed to have good communication skills, good negotiation skills to be able to convince that client or that patient that no, this is the time you're supposed to live. This is how you're supposed to follow your treatment, and this and this. A good communication or good negotiation always wins in every domain, be it in business, be it a contract, be it with your kid at home. So we have a department of negotiation skills and communication skills and emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence is important too, because if I wasn't strong, I would have been here. Yeah, so I built that in myself, and I want to share with people. So I'm working on creating a course that is going to train people on that. So I have my department of building myself. I share my time to talk to people and to bring people together so that we can have this platform, like just people like you, some other people from Saudi Arabia coming in Africa and more. So it is not so consuming for me. I'm very okay with my time. Yes, I'm just looking forward so that I can have another spare job. If I can have another spare job that is bringing in money, I know that the dream is going to go faster. Yeah, it's going to go faster. So from what is going on now, but we have other services back in Cameroon that are trying to meet up with finances. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you're working on solving real life problems and working with people with real life problems to come up with solutions that they would know, and that you're collaborating with them to think and strategize from like a design entrepreneur perspective. So you're not necessarily giving them answers. You're working with people, and adding more valuable skills like interpersonal skills, communication, to social emotional intelligence, right? Those kind of skills that everyone would benefit. And from what I'm also hearing, perhaps, is you've learned that through your work as an entrepreneur, things that life kind of taught you, and you had to basically build yourself into this person who could handle different kinds of individuals. If you could walk me through specifics of or examples of like your work with people from different parts of the world, because I'm imagining that while business seems pretty straightforward, right? Where you just need to think about money and like work with people and know how to strategize, right? But I'm sure there's so much of the things that I'm saying is really missing, which is like the details of like what kind of problem do you want to prioritize, to who do you want to hire for that role, etc., right? So um when you think about running or working in a company, how do you go about it in a way that helps to, one, create a safe or productive culture, and two, to basically scale?
Okay, like how I need to understand the question again.
Yeah. So how do you help to make a safe and productive culture? So a place where people can feel that they can come to you, talk to you, but also you're working, collaborating together, and coming up with the right solutions for whatever problem that you're targeting.
Okay, okay. For example, I have my proof of work and record of people I have worked with making their businesses successful. I have a record of almost, let me say, about 90% of what I've been working on for the past years. I have a full record. I have successful stories for partners and young brands, entrepreneurs that have worked with me. And this rebranding I am doing is a continuity of what I have been doing, but in another system. Yes. So now I have a student in Saudi Arabia. She's a doctor. She's taking training. I'm giving her training on negotiation skills, and she has been improving, and she's so happy to continue with other training because she was taking training on self-branding, personal branding, and negotiation skills. And she's coming up now. She wants to add the emotional intelligence because she's seeing that she's lacking that. And that is because of how comfortable she is and how the environment is suitable for her, and the culture. That is an example to say that the culture we have, showing love to people, being kind, accepting people's imperfections with harmony, empathy, showing gratitude, even though we want to make money, but we want to be loyal because it is a loyal gleam, it's a light. So it's a light that is taking people out of darkness. So we have to be loyal, no matter how skillful we are. We have to be very loyal. If we don't have empathy, we can never reach out to as wide as we want to reach. So we exercise loyalty and empathy, and we make sure the environment is conducive for every person, be it with disabilities or any challenges you have. It is a welcoming ground for everybody, a warm ground for everybody.
That's so powerful. I don't think I've ever heard too many people use the word loyal. Like I want to create a loyal culture. Like I've heard people use words like a safe culture where people can speak up, right? Or a productive culture where people can do more, and you're making progress. So what, if you could help us define loyalty, what does that mean? And what does that look like?
Loyalty is like let's say you are somebody, loyalty is like serving humanity. That's how I define it. And serving humanity is somebody that knows what to do to help somebody, but doesn't take advantage of that person because they know it more than that person. So if the manager of the company is disrespecting the keeper, somebody that sweeps the company, I am sacking the manager immediately. That is how the culture works. So if you are the manager of the company, you don't have the attitude, you don't have empathy, then you're not loyal. So no matter how educated you are, no matter how skillful you are, if you're not loyal, then you are not of this platform, you're not of this community, you're not of this culture. Yes.
That's so interesting. And how do you help people create these loyal characteristics? Do they have to go through also some kind of training, or do you just look for people who already show those attributes?
Okay, helping people go through this, we have courses, we have a little training that you have to go to, but we have to help you find yourself, because if you don't know who you are, then you won't know your purpose. Yes, it's not all about taking training here and there. We have to help you find yourself, who you are, what are you good at, what can you do? Have you understand that you are here to serve humanity? If you understand that, then it's going to be easier. We have a course that you're going to take, and that is going to help you to be more productive and have your own community in your personal life, in your career. Yes, so that's how we help people to be loyal, helping them find themselves if they are lost. If they are too fast, we help them calm down and find a path that is going to be suitable for their career. And that is how they become more productive in whatsoever they do.
I think I'm really starting to understand it, because you're literally helping people become better people, and then as a result you're working with a better company, right? Because you're leading it. And it all started with you as a person. You had these values, you had a clear vision, you know who you are, and you're saying, if I know who I am, I don't want me to be the only person who knows who I am. I want others to know who they are too. And I think it's such a powerful way of lifting people up and using your company culture to spread this humanity work that you're doing, that isn't just being an entrepreneur. Because some people might think being an entrepreneur is like working for yourself, right? And and almost like taking advantage of others or resources or whatever. But you're doing the opposite. You're creating opportunities by just being a better version, and then allowing others to do the same thing too. So that's super impressive. Thank you so much for, sharing and being so open, and helping us understand what you're doing and the kind of philosophy you have towards your goals. I think it's very inspiring, and I actually was wondering as well, and that has to do with you're working, towards this big vision, this big goal, and you're still very true to yourself. What are you imagining, let's say 10 years or 20 years down the road? What are you picturing you want to incorporate more into your future or your life? And what are you already doing to get there, if you haven't already mentioned those things?
Yeah, looking at myself in 10 years to 20 years to come, I want to have this community, this space where, if it is a career that is lost or a student that is lost in their career, they should be able to find a solution or the way forward in this community. If it is a business that is about to start, they want to see if this business is going to succeed in whatsoever part of the world. They should be able to come to this community and get the solution. If it is a business that is already established and they don't know what step to take in order to move forward, we have solutions here. Solution has to do with creativity. You have an idea, you are finding it so difficult to interpret the idea. This platform is going to be that solution for that idea. Yes, so if there is an idea and a problem for business and it is not being able to be interpreted by this platform, then that person should go to church. Yes, that person should go to church and meet the pastor or the prophet, because we want to make this platform so strong, so strong, in such a way that we are able to solve lost dreams, bring them back. We are able to make people wake up from their slumber through motivation, through education, through content creating, be it the health department, be it the sports department, be it real estate, be it the hygiene department, be it the nutritional department, diet. So we want to bring a community that is going to solve problems in a wide range. So in the next 10 years, all these departments are going to be booming, and we are able to touch every part of the world, be it developed and non-developed. Yeah, so that is the vision I'm looking at. And what I'm doing now to be there is bringing these people together from different cultures. So this particular community welcomes everybody, whether black or white, green, red, any color, any culture from any part of the world, be educated or non-educated, be able or you are able, you are disabled, come and your little idea is going to add to this platform. Yes, be it rich or poor, be it you have ideas or you don't have ideas, come and we are going to dig into you and see what we can take to make you become somebody and the community to grow. So the community is open to everybody, married, non-married, everybody. So in the next 10 years, we should be able to have smiling faces with found dreams, smiling companies, we establish businesses. We should be able to have students who are studying in our academic department, skills that work and according to the technology and more. So that is the vision that we have, and I'm bringing these people together and trying to drill them step by step so that we can achieve that in the next 10 years to come. Yeah.
And I just want to quickly follow up, because I'm pretty sure there are people who are listening who are going to say, Bah, your dream may be really big. It almost seems unrealistic. Was that something that you kind of shared with your family and friends years ago, and they kind of reacted the same way? Like, how are we going to do that? Like, does that even make sense? That's a lot of sacrifices to make, and we have other things to take care of. Why are you even thinking about these things? So what are your thoughts to that?
The way I have people who have heard about the dreams and they've given up on me. I have some who said it was good, but they are not taking it serious. I have some who are so into it, but it is sad. It is really sad, because the people that believe in it are strangers. The people that really believe in it so well are strangers. And it doesn't mean that friends do not believe in it. When you have people who cannot stay with you or accommodate you because you are too big to be handled, or your vision is too big, you have to leave them alone. Yes, so I'm leaving anybody that does not believe in it alone. I am doing the little I can do, because 10 years is big and enough for me to meet it. If I work on my track and my system, and if I see that this plan is not working, I change it immediately. I am able to go, because the world is accepting it. Even if it is the smallest part of the world, accepting it, there is no problem. It's going to take time for even people who do not believe in it to bring themselves into it without even knowing. So it is my faith that keeps me going. It is what I see beyond what is happening now that keeps me going. So there are people that have doubts, and I don't care. I know who I am, I know where I came from, and I know where I'm going to.
That's great. Yeah. And I think, to your point that we're all gonna have different dreams and visions for where we want to go and for our lives. And the best person to believe in it first is always gonna be ourselves, because no one's gonna, understand it better than we do. And
Yeah.
I think, at this point, supporting each other is always going to be the way to go. So thank you so much for sharing your story, your dreams, your goals. And I can't wait to see what your work looks like in the next 10, 20 years. And I know that to you, years don't seem to matter. It's more about what you do in between that time and how you pursue your work and your experiences. That is what counts the most. So I'm encouraged by people like you, and would like to know, as the final question is, who or what inspires you?
What inspires me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. First of all, my mom, and let me just say my family, because they've been there to they've been there with me when I lost everything, that has to do with friends. They've been there with me. Like, my family, it's a small family, a very small family of 7. We are just there, and that's the only support system that I have spiritually, and extending to just little. Yeah, so if I can say I'm working today, it is because I want to make that family proud. I want to be sure that if I'm leaving this world, let the name of my family be recorded in history. Yes, that this family existed on earth. Yeah, not just allowed. It is not like passing through the earth or the earth passing through you. So I want this family to be recorded. I have taken the responsibility upon my head. I have taken it. I am being selfless and keeping myself to focus on these goals. And nobody is powerful enough to stop me except God. And not even the family that is for me can stop me. So that is how determined I am. Yes.
Well, I am so excited for you and your journey and your heart, your kindness and your courage to pursue something bigger and greater. And though you may be seemingly one person, you've impacted so many lives already, including mine, with your story. So I'm really, really grateful, and would love to know, where can people find you and get connected.
Okay, you can find me on the LinkedIn, Romi on LinkedIn. You can find me on TikTok, Director Romi. Yes, and when you get me there, I can also maybe share my contacts. You will get my contact, and they can get me through my contact, or maybe you contact me through WhatsApp, through LinkedIn. You get my contact. I will reply to you. I'm always open to new people. Yes, and maybe my TikTok, you can see some of my works there, and get to me, and we can always share anytime. I'm open.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. And I just hope that many more people will hear your story. Any final few words before we close?
Yes, if I can boil down everything that I've said, they always say a book is big, but the lesson from a book is bigger. And the lesson must not be everything that was written in that book. Yes, somebody can read a book of 1,000 pages, But if you ask what that person learned from that book, the person might tell you, I learned empathy. And empathy is just a single word. And that word alone can make a life, and that word can make nations. So I want to say that focus on the little things you can control, and let the things you cannot control themselves. Focus on what you can control. Do not be overwhelmed, anxious, be too worried about what you cannot control. Just focus on what you can control, focus on the system, focus on what you have to do to meet that goal. Yes, that is what I have to say to everybody out there.
You are a powerful speaker and visionary. So I hope many people have just heard something really awesome. There's a different way of thinking about looking at a book now. So start seeing books differently and apply it into your life. All right. Until next time, everyone. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.